Hey, welcome to We Can't Code episode 9. This is episode 9, right? So
Wait. Yes, it is. Okay, yeah, we are.
okay,
Then wait. Woo! Yeah, episode 9. Woo!
episode 9. We Can't Code. This is a podcast for
Uh,
gamers. The name We Can't Code, so we criticize essentially is just meaning we have no skills in coding or creating games at all. So, yeah, we just talk about games because that's all we can really do at this point. I'm Ben.
I'm Mike. I'm Mike. We're over talking each other. It's great.
Oh,
Ninth one. We're still haven't got a solid start of the podcast yet. I love it.
we're good.
So
We're
good.
we're falling into we'll get there. We'll get there. All right.
We're just trying too hard now.
Um
I love it. It's great. So, as usual, I mean, this is episode 9, so if you've been listening with us, you know our rhythm. We always start with what we've been playing over the week. I started last time, so Ben, what have you been playing this week?
7 Days to Die. Almost exclusively.
Yeah, well, yeah. Almost exclusively for me too as well, but then we saved it with PUBG. Two games we already talked about. And I also actually played Cuphead, though.
Oh,
Because
nice.
you got it for my birthday. Yeah, because, thanks again for that, man. And Cuphead is a lot more fun by yourself. I'm having a lot of fun playing it. I passed the first island, and and then I'm working on the Candy Woman. Do you remember her?
Yeah, I remember she was really tough.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So far, I've been playing so long though, so I got to her final stage, but then I was it was already 11:30, so I was I gotta stop playing. But yeah, it's so much better by yourself. Honestly, I'm enjoying it 10 times more, and it's a lot easier too. Surprisingly,
Yeah, it's not as
these type of
hectic.
games. Yeah, exactly. Which is funny because you think that these boss run games would be easier with another person, but at the end they're not because especially when you have when you share the same screen, it gets so confusing on who you actually are and all that stuff. And when you play by yourself, it becomes so easy to focus in the end.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to follow around two people, and it's just... I don't know. It always seems like it's a lot easier to dodge projectiles when they're specifically coming at you and not your partner. There's times where...
Yeah.
we were playing one of the first levels or something, and the guy would shoot at me, and then he would shoot at you when we were playing co-op, and there were times where I would expect all projectiles to come to me, and by me jumping out of the way, I would jump into the projectiles that were shot at you, and I was
Yeah.
like, motherfucker.
No, a great example is the blimp woman. I forgot what her name is, but when I replayed her by myself, she was 10 times easier. I still did not kill her instantly. I still died a lot, but it was so much easier to focus because I knew, like you said, all the attacks were going to be coming my way or where I originally was, instead of being split up between two different people.
Mike, it's impolite to call a woman a blimp. You
She's
gotta
physically
work
a
on your
fucking blimp.
skills. It's just rude, bud.
But yeah, man, just I thought it was so funny because when I first made this list, because we were gonna play, we were gonna do this podcast a day beforehand, but sadly we weren't able to doing it, so we're doing it today. Beforehand, when I wrote up the list, all it was just 7 days to die, and and the bottom I'm and that's it. I totally did nothing else. I didn't get any puzzle games like I said I was getting. It was just and then but then we played PUBG, which we actually had a good time again though, right? That was really fun, I thought.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good.
Okay, I'm did I lose you?
No.
By the way, this podcast, me and Ben are in. I'm in Tennessee right now, and I'm in a hotel. So, when Ben went quiet, it actually freaked me out. I was like, "Don't tell me I just fucking dropped you."
No. I was just trying to be funny, but unsuccessful.
Yeah, give me a heart attack.
No, it was fine. Honestly, I'm
Except
trying
for
to
the
remember
last
everything
game we
that
played.
happened. We did the one where we started
So
at school, and that went sort of okay. I died
you
immediately.
died right off the bat. Yeah, sadly you got killed. The guy wasted his shotgun ammo on you, and I killed him. And then one of our buddies got sniped across the field somehow, even though he had the upper ground and saw him first. Still got headshotted.
It's because he's got lag
Don't know
like
how that
crazy
happened.
every single fucking game that we play. He was like, they were both shooting at each other. He was on the top of the school, and some guy had a fucking tree for cover, and he had him pinned down.
And he had a
And the guy popped his
4-time scope too. Our
the
buddy
guy,
had a 4-time scope and still missed.
yeah, this guy popped his
What?
head out of the tree. Like I'm dead, so I'm watching. I'm spectating him, and he's just in his crosshairs for a good like 2 seconds, and then the guy just takes his headshot and kills our friend. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? It was
But man,
embarrassing.
though, our other friend, Sam, dude, Sam, like, remember when, like, me and him were just running, and then, like, I said, two guys behind me, two guys behind us. He immediately turned around. Each shot killed them instantly. Pop, pop, both went down instantly. It was so quick, and it was, like, insane. I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah, Sam's the breadwinner of the group.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He just freaking owns, especially when he has a rifle. It's nuts. And then the last game we had, though, was so good, and we were doing so well until we got near the end. Yeah, actually, the last game, Sam dropped out, and we had a rando. He died right away. We had a good gunfight with people that we ended up not killing each other, and we just ran away from each other. And then
Oh yeah,
we
I
actually
remember
made
this.
yeah, and so then we actually made it all the way to the end. Except I was stupid. I tried bum rushing this one guy. I had no idea what the fuck I was thinking. But in the end, it didn't matter because you were the last one with 3 other people.
I was with two other
And
guys. It was three total, including myself.
oh yeah, it was 2 other guys. Yeah, and there was a team of 2. I forgot that includes you 2 in the count. So it was only 2 people left, and they were already you really knew they were hacking because you were hiding like
I was
a
hidden
football
behind
field
a
away.
wall, and I was on the way edge of the circle, where like you can't be on the other side of the circle. So no one could be behind me or anything, and I was hidden everywhere else. So you couldn't see me at all.
Yeah, and they were already hitting directly the wall, like on the opposite side of the wall you were at. Like they were hitting directly, like exactly where you were. There was no physical possible way they could have seen you at all because you were hugging that wall like crazy.
Yeah, it was like a half wall of a destroyed building, and you could see the
Yeah,
bullets just hitting on the other side of the wall, like
right where your head was too.
yeah, just like aiming right for me. So they knew where I was for some random reason. I knew that they couldn't see me, but they were like, who does this? They were standing on the top of this hill, like very clear to everyone else. If
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
not that
like
there was anyone else in there, but it would have been. It's very
the
dumb to
dumbest
like.
move you can do because they had no idea what you had and you could easily just snipe them off. And what's annoying is that when you got closer to them, they still couldn't have seen you. And then when they shot you again, there was just the perfect lip of the mountain where your head was at, and they were just hitting that part of the mountain. So like they still couldn't kill you until you stood up, and then just 2 pops instantly and you were dead. And they said it was a headshot. One knocked off your helmet, and the other one hit you in the head. It was just so obvious it was a hack. I was like, there's no other fucking possibility.
Yeah, it's
And it was
dumb.
just, it's just so annoying because every single time we do so good in that game, we run into fucking cheaters every time.
Well,
And
each game
it,
is like 100 people. I mean, I feel like the chances of running into a hacker once a game is pretty easy.
and the thing is, what they need to do is that they need to get rid of the actual buying of clothes. Because I can see why people cheat in that game because there's clothes that people pay like $500 for
That's
in
not
that
why
game.
people cheat.
Dude, are you kidding me? I would cheat in that game. If I could cheat, I would cheat in that game to win all the time, to unlock boxes 24/7, to get like freaking just a random chance to get a thing that I can sell for $500. I would do it 24/7. So it's like I fucking hate them, but I can see why people cheat in the game though, because people are putting down that much money for pieces of the clothes in this game. And I think if they got rid of like the whole actual using physical money to buy from each other, I think it would cut down the reason for people to cheat in the end, because there's no other reason to cheat in that game.
I mean, I think people cheat in games just to cheat in games. Like, I don't know. In
I
Minecraft,
just
there's intrinsically nothing to gain from Minecraft, but there's still cheaters and griefers and shit in Minecraft. People just like to
yeah,
fuck with
sure.
people.
I know, but it's just like I just never seen it so often in any game I played though. Like I played a lot of I used to play a lot of multiplayer shooter games online before, and I never ran into this many cheaters in a row in a single game.
It's because
I'm like,
it's super popular right now, and also because there's very small amount of people Or
Yeah, working
there's a
on it. So
well, yeah, I
it
mean
just
it's just
drives me at the wall, though. It just like, especially since it was the first time it came in second, I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. And then just like it just like I still love the game. I'm still gonna play it, but it's like every time like when I get such good equipment or like our team's doing so well, we always run into hackers every damn time. It's like damn it. It just drives me up the wall sometimes.
what can you do? It's a
I know.
popular game. They're doing the best that they can, but obviously it's not good enough.
Yeah,
I
hopefully
don't know.
like they just need like to spearhead it because everything else in the game is pretty solid. The driving's still a little wonky, but actually the driving was pretty good when I drive. When like the reason why last time was bad is because our friend with a bad internet connection was driving, so that's why it was pretty wonky there. So I think the game is pretty solid, and actually, I also find it kind of funny is that the two games I have only really played besides Cuphead are early access games, and I despise early access. Like I despise the idea of early access, and I think it's funny that it's like those are the two games I'm only playing right now.
I mean, I don't know. I think that how much support that the game gets, like it's early access, sure, but if I remember correctly, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds has some deal that they struck with Microsoft, and like 7 Days to Die being the other game that we played, like that's they also have I don't know if they're like funded by Sony or Microsoft or whoever, but they have like console versions, like
Yeah,
physical. You can go to Walmart and see 7 Days to Die. Like that's
that is like ludicrous to me. I'm like, it's like an early access game that's still in early access is on a console that you can buy at like at a store. It has a cover and everything.
yeah.
I'm like, wow. It just like, I think that's stupid. But I mean,
Is 7 Days
hey,
to Die still technically early access? I mean, they're
if they
just
say they are, let's see. They actually did make early access a better like. They did make early access a better tool now because they actually make the developers add more in the descriptions.
okay. Yeah, it still claims to be seven or early
So
access.
yeah, so it says why early access. Let's see. I'm gonna do a quick read of the paragraph. Early access is a great platform as it gives us the ability to get feedback from new players as well as our existing community on new and existing content. Oh, this is PlayerUnknown's background. I want 7 Days to Die. Oops. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Let's
Uh,
see. Yeah, let's pause that. Let's see.
they don't say why they are exactly. All they do is they just say, it's currently in alpha development, all that. I mean, they don't
Yeah.
try to give any reasoning to it, but the
Every
game,
other though early access though now has the extra ask specific things that to fill out though, which is interesting. Because like 7 days to PUBG has the same thing as everyone else does now that is in early access. They have requirements of things to fill out, which I think is really cool because then it gives you more details on the early access.
hmm,
Let's see, because I'm going to go into details more about games coming out actually. Let's see, where are you, PUBG? There it is. I'm used to calling it PUBG. I'm like, when I'm looking at my games list, I'm not used to seeing the full name like actually written out. Let's see. Let's see. So, like, besides, is it really? Have you only been playing PUBG in 7 days though? Anything else?
yeah. So, for my week, 7 Days to Die, obviously. Put if I had to like give a number of how many hours I've played this week, I've probably put between 20 to 25 hours this week, a pretty fair amount. So the only other thing that I've been doing is I've been considering. I've been looking for a new game to play online with a bunch of friends, and 7 Days to Die, it fits that niche where it's online, it's like friends can
Yeah.
jump in and out, whatever, it's easy. Um, but I've also been thinking about Diablo 3 again. Just I haven't played for the last
Really?
couple seasons, and the Necromancer came out, and it's currently season 12, and the last season I played was season 7, so it's been quite a while.
Yeah, and like you said though, like when we talked about Blizzard's last conference, they said nothing at all about Diablo 3. So and I'm wondering if what is their plans with it exactly, because Blizzard is usually always good about updating all their games all the time, and it's very interesting they didn't say anything at all about Diablo 3 this year.
What's weird to me is that there was a lot of anticipation or expectation that they were going to re-announce Diablo 2 remastered, which it's weird that that's like what everyone wants the most out of this series. I mean, you want a remastered game more than you want, a brand new Diablo game or something. It's just odd. Like, I guess I never really
Well,
understood that. Diablo 2 is my favorite game of the series, but why would you not want just a brand new game?
I guess people are scared of the idea of it now just because how bad Diablo 3 was. And so I guess most people are realizing like maybe it's not going to get better than Diablo 2. Maybe Diablo 2 is just the game I like. Because I have the exact same thing with Battlefield actually. I loved Battlefield Company 1 and 2. But every other Battlefield game that came out, I just do not like at all. I did not like any other following Battlefield game, and that's when I just realized like I just like Battlefield Bad Company. I think that's when people are just finally realizing too is like maybe that they'll never get that same game again, and the way that they enjoy the game is different now from the developers are making the games.
I don't know. I disagree. I think Diablo 3 is a great game. It started out poorly, but they added a bunch of improvements. The whole thing with the rifts and the greater rifts, like
Yeah,
that's a really smart idea.
I'm glad they got rid of the teleporting thing because I remember when I tried hopping into Diablo 2 and everyone
Teleporting.
was just well, yeah, because everyone just had an item like a teleporting item attached to one of their equipment, and people just teleport across the map and stuff. And I thought that was very boring. So I'm glad they got rid of that.
No, Diablo 3 still has the sorcerers that can teleport. I don't remember any other class being able to teleport.
In Diablo 2, you can just get an item that allows you to teleport.
Hmm. I
And when
don't
I
remember
joined
that.
in, and like when I joined into it, that's like what everyone had, and so it was like very weird. Of course, I joined very late in Diablo 2, and so I didn't get much out of it. Diablo 3, I still actually enjoyed Diablo 3 too. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it.
There's
But
improvements on it. I think the game, I mean, if you play Diablo 2 right now and you play Diablo 3 right now, Diablo 3 is the clear victor. It's just that Diablo 2
mhm.
was like it's like if they re-released Half-Life 2. I mean, everyone loved Half-Life 2 when it first came out, but that's cuz it was so innovative at the time.
Yeah,
Like Diablo 2 was innovative at the time. If they just remade the game though, like that's not going to be good.
no,
It's
I
not
agree.
nearly as innovative as it was like 20 years ago or whenever it came out. Like people just need to it's one of those classic situations of the audience, or your consumers don't know what they want.
Yeah, it's like when people like a lot of people are excited for a WoW Classic coming out, but in the end, I don't think many people like a lot of people are saying like, I don't think anyone's gonna really like that at all.
Well,
When they're
yeah,
bringing back,
I mean, I played WoW when like WoW Vanilla before Burning Crusade even came out, like the first DLC or expansion. I mean, and like it was a fun game, but you can get to level like 110 or something currently in World of Warcraft. Like, can you imagine how fast people are gonna blow through level 60? Like
yeah,
that's the highest level that you can get in vanilla World of Warcraft. Like, you're gonna buy
and because
this
like
game, you're gonna level up
only
as fast
veterans
as
are
you
gonna buy
can.
that game too. It's like only people who played World of Warcraft are going to be the ones playing that. I doubt anyone is gonna start. That's never played World of Warcraft. I don't think anyone is gonna pick that game up. It's only gonna be people who've already played it a
Yeah,
thousand times. So like, yeah, they will just wreck it instantly. So I'm curious to see what they do if they have a higher level and stuff.
and also, yeah, there's gonna be an easy, obvious glass ceiling because they're pigeonholing themselves. They can't make any additional content for the game. Like
Yeah,
the fact that you're gonna call it WoW Vanilla or WoW Classic or whatever, like that's you're not going to be able to add any items unless you change that idea. In which case, it may as well just be like a parallel universe of what World of Warcraft could have been. Like they're essentially going to have two different versions of World of Warcraft. Once people get tired of WoW Classic and like if it does get an expansion or if it just stays as it is, like the game it'll be fun for everyone for like 6 months. And then once everyone's like, "Okay, I have all the best items I can get because I already did this and I already know this pattern." Like it's a game that
what's
everyone's already played. That's
what's
all I'm
actually
getting at.
kind of funny about that though is So do you know a YouTuber called and streamer called Jesse Cox?
Nope.
So he's just a YouTuber and streamer, and he actually has a really tight connection to Blizzard. And he was talking to the one of the developers in Blizzard that's working on WoW, and the guy literally said like, yeah, like they're looking like for like the guy literally said like everyone's saying that they can like make like the classic WoW better. Please apply because they're actually trying to get a team together now to make it, which I find very funny. He literally told Jesse Cox, like, yeah, we're like all those people bragging that they can make it better and all that stuff. Please apply because we're hiring for a team to do it and all that stuff. So it's not even like in development yet at all. It's like they have the idea, but they don't have like a team put together to actually make it,
Yeah, I heard that
which I
they were
find kind
still
of
hiring
funny.
people.
Yeah, and so like they're just desperate to find people to put a team on it because they don't, which makes it an interesting idea to me because like they don't want to waste, like they want to use their current teams on the project already. So it's kind of like I think it's gonna be kind of like that Sonic game that came out. I think it was like Sonic Mania, where it was made by fans. Like Sega actually hired them to make a game,
Yeah,
and
I
they
know.
made Sonic Mania. So I think it's gonna be like that in the end, where they use the fans, like actually trained programmers, of course, and all that stuff. But they're all like fans of the game that they hire in the end. So I'd be pretty interested to see just how it turns out.
Yeah, see, like that's an
I'm not gonna
interesting
play it.
idea. Like,
Yeah, I'm not gonna play it, but I'd like to see what they come up with it.
if they're actively trying to change the formula to World of Warcraft Classic, then that makes sense to me. Like, if you're just gonna re-release the game from a specific patch and never change it or update it, well, that's just as bad as a game coming out that you never change or update at all. Like, you need that constant support. The fact that World of Warcraft has grown into what it is now, would it be nearly as popular now, like 15
Oh,
years
excuse me.
later, if they never changed or updated it? Like everyone wants. I don't know. Once again, I think Sonic Mania is totally different because it wasn't relying on anything from the past. It used old, reimagined levels, but they were brand new levels still, and like everything was pretty much designed from the ground up, from what I can tell. They only emulated the look and feel of Sonic games, but they made everything brand new. I'm pretty sure. Like
Yeah.
World of Warcraft Classic, they're guaranteed going to use old assets of that game because it's a massive game.
And just like a side note, just from last podcast, we kind of ripped on Sonic having bad sequels. Well, one of our buddies hit me up, and he did prove a point though that Sonic's 2D games were all good. It's only when Sonic went to the 3Ds when it actually went bad. It's just a small little, it's a small footnote from the last podcast that I want to just put into this one.
Yeah,
Is I totally agree with that. That all Sonic's 2D games were fantastic. It was only when Sonic was in 3D that's when things went to shit.
yeah, you happy now, asshole? There, you made it into
We
the
don't.
podcast, bitch. No, no, but I never played Sonic, so I've heard that Sonic One, Two,
I have.
and Three, and Sonic and Knuckles, I think is
Yeah,
number three.
I actually played a lot of them. I just gave up after I think the second 3D version of it. It's been a
Pussy.
long time, so I don't remember when the last one what it was. But yeah. So yeah, I'm just curious. Like, it would be actually an interesting idea for the World of Warcraft Classic if they kind of pulled the whole Star Trek trick when it's sort of like a different timeline or something like that. Like a different thing happens instead. That'd be kind of a curious way of taking it. So it's still the classic, but something slightly different.
Yeah, so we're getting
That puts it on a different
dangerously
route.
into a category that I'm unfamiliar with. I played World of Warcraft.
No,
Not
yeah,
only
and same here, likewise.
Well, yeah, I played it not only when it was like only one or two expansions in. Like I stopped at Wrath of the Lich King. I never played that one, which was number 3, I think. But uh to finish up my point though, they had an expansion called like Cataclysm or something where it changed up all the previous areas of the map. Like there was
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I think that there was like the scar or whatever, where like it cut through. Like previously, it was like
that
a
was the
field
last
or
one.
something,
Yeah,
and then they like made it all like burnt and barren and stuff. Like,
yeah,
I get that they're going back to like reimagine. Oh, what if Cataclysm didn't happen? And I think the guy's name was Deathwing, the dragon. Like, what if he never came around and we
yeah.
just had the map as it was before? Like that, I get it. That's cool. Whatever. But they still have to add to the game. Like the fact that it's going back to classic, sure, but if they want to keep people just as interested in that, as they do with the current World of Warcraft, they have to add expansions and they have to add updates to it, you know? So it can
Yeah,
only
because
be World of...
everyone who's gonna be playing it has already played 100 times already.
Yeah, I mean, World of
So
Warcraft Classic, people will play for like 2 months to hit level 60 and get all the gear, and then they're going to be like, okay, cool. Well, this game's never changing, so why am I going to keep up with it? So yeah, they have to update the model the same way that they're updating the new game.
yeah, actually another game that's been actually updating itself a lot that actually I might get back into is Warframe. Warframe has been updating itself a shit ton, and they did another big update. And I'm actually thinking about getting back into that game
What is
again.
Warframe?
Warframe is a free-to-play MMO where you play an ultimate ninja, and it just basically you just go to these planets, you land, you sign up for a mission, and it's like either usually to kill something or to pick something up, and then just leave the ship area,
All right, I'm
and then so
confused
you
here.
land.
So you play as a ninja and you go to
Yeah,
planets. You sound like you're playing as a
yeah,
space marine in this game.
basically, but more because like you can run wall, you can slide, you can use different types of weapons, dual pistols, machine guns, shotguns, different multiple blades, axes, twin
Like,
blades. It's really cool, dude. You should definitely look it up,
I get
and
I
it's
get
free to
that.
play.
I get that. But if you're gonna describe the game to me, be like you're a typical ninja. You use your shotguns, your assault rifles, your pistols, your blades, and typical ninja game. You go to planets and you try to kill all the aliens. Like what were they thinking?
It's so good, dude. Like I'm when I first played it, it's
Typical ninja
insane that it's
game.
free to play. Just because I call it a ninja game because like you move like a ninja where you can wall run and stuff, and you can do all these flips in the air.
You're
It's
run of the
so
mill stealth
good.
game. Gotcha,
Shut up.
gotcha.
Fuck you. But it looks so good, and they added so much more to it. And I'm pretty excited. Like you can actually look it up on Steam right now because you can like download it from Steam. Yeah, Warframe. Yep.
I'm gonna look it up.
It's a free to play game.
I wanna see this ninja game that you keep talking about.
Yeah, dude, go for it. It's freaking fun.
I was
When I
also
played
gonna
it last
say
time,
a ninja game called Warframe sounds not ninja at all.
yeah, I know. But I just like calling them ninjas for like just how fast they move and how agile they are.
Okay, so I just opened up the Steam thing. This guy's flying around with his ethereal wings, and he's got like some laser shit
Yeah,
he's
they
shooting.
just add.
Very
I
ninja.
forgot that they added the wings.
It's your typical ninja stuff. A lot of stealth action, shotgun, real time shooting. AOE explosions, and yeah, just pretty much on par with like the old Shadow Warrior games. Like very, very strategic. Sorry.
No, it's totally fine because when I played this game, they didn't really have like big open fields like this, and when the missions I've always played were that you always end up on ships and stuff, and you're sneaking down corridors. Because well, there's two options. One, you can be stealthy, or two, you can just go full out kill everyone. Because they can't turn an alarm then, so then they're always going to kind of know where you're at. So I always kind of like doing the stealth approach though. But you can still kill them very easily. But I just like playing it that way. And you can play with multiple people. People can jump in and out of your game anytime, which is why I think you'll like this game a lot, and it'd be something fun to pick up to play. And you can like, let's see, I wish I can show you the way because like, there's so much you can do. There's so many different types of gameplays in this game, and it's so much fun. Is this all just? This is a horrible trailer.
No,
This
it's
is a
typical
shitty
ninja
trailer for this.
stuff, buddy.
It's just like one solid, just like that was all it was. Is like watch the second video. It'd be probably better.
All
Let's
right.
see. It actually looks like a trailer for the game.
All right, I'm seeing a mechanized assault here. Typical ninja stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely a whole new direction.
This game looks like
Yeah,
Destiny.
people just. Yeah, like they never used to be able to fly. And there's never been like an open planes and stuff. This is like totally different.
Okay,
I'm
here
actually
he's
more excited
catching
now
a
to give it.
fish.
Yeah, you can fish now too, apparently.
Okay, so uh, here's the real description to the game on the website, which it's so basic, by the way. But It's just a single sentence. They were like, "Fuck it, they'll figure it out. It's everything." Like, so the description is: Warframe is a cooperative, free-to-play, third-person online action game set in an evolving sci-fi world. Mike, where are you getting
Yep.
ninjas from this, bud? Is it just because he uses a sword that he's a ninja?
No, it's different. It's just like the
That's
first time the game came
stereotyping.
out. Yeah, I can live with that. It just, they never used to have like an open field. You used to be fighting like in corridors and stuff, and you'd be like running off a wall, jumping up and stuff, and just it's a good game though. Trust me, you should give it a try.
You should write a review for the game and just have it be like best ninja game ever.
I'll do that, motherfucker. I will do that.
Please do it. I'll upvote it. I hope that it becomes the top comment. It's a pretty good ninja game. Oh man.
I'm so
I'm probably
embarrassed
gonna
right
pass
now.
on that. I'm just gonna be honest. I kind of like more on the fantasy side of games rather than like space marine types. And
That's where we're so different. I love a space shit too.
space shit. It's a good way to describe it. Yeah,
I just like everything really in space. I
I
love
don't know.
that stuff.
Diablo and 7 Days to Die. I mean, I guess are zombies technically fantasy? I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it is. It's not real. They'll never be fucking real.
You don't
As
know.
much people wish they want to be real. Fucking crazy ass dumbasses.
Okay. I don't know. You want to get onto the top 5 here? I feel like we've been kind of dragging our feet
I
a
don't know.
little bit.
No, it's just like this is a podcast, so I mean, is there anything else you want to talk about before
You'll-
we go into there?
you'll
Anything
listen
more
to
like
me.
Diablo 3?
You listen to me as long as I want you to. Uh, no, I don't have much. I mean, I'm gonna see who else is interested in playing Diablo 3, but I know
I
that
would be
that
down
game,
again because I actually enjoyed playing it. It just like we actually played it a lot, and like it did have a shitty fucking release, but I still had fun when the game came out.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's like comparing apples to oranges now. The release in comparison to what it is
Yeah.
now, like they didn't even have any end game at release, which is like, what were you thinking? This is Diablo. Why would you not have end game? And they
Yeah.
came up with the idea of greater rifts, and it's just 100. Like, the idea of the rifts is so good. It's
So what is the Rift? I haven't really played the new version yet.
okay.
So
So what it is instead of like all the areas that you go to are randomly generated. That's Diablo 2 or Diablo's like a thing. Is that every time that
Yeah.
you go and load into the game, it's never the same
which I
path
like.
from town to
I
town.
love that feel. And that's why I was so attracted to Diablo 2 because it was one of the first games that ever did that too.
Yeah. So what the rifts do is they expand on that, where essentially like a portal, you make a rift, and then a portal appears in front of you, and when you enter that portal, it randomly spawns in like some map of some area anywhere in the game, and then it makes a map out of that. And so like, it could be like a desert area, or it could be like in the Reaper of Souls expansion, like walking through those platforms at the end, or it could be like the first level and you're in a field or something, and then you like fight your way through that, and then you go through another portal, and once again it's like randomly chosen out of all the hundreds of different randomly generated areas that they've made in the game. It's like, oh, now you're in the sewers, now you're in a cave, now you're on a mountaintop or something, like all. So it pretty much, the maps are never the same. It's always like one random thing after another, and then on top of that they always throw in some random end boss. So like I'm trying to think of the guy like Kalthazud or something. I can't remember. But there's like the desert boss. There's Bale. There's the butcher. I think.
I remember the Butcher.
Yeah. So
He's
pretty,
the only one I remember.
yeah, but pretty much like you don't have to run through all the catacombs or something like.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I like that.
Like it's
that's
always
pretty cool.
Yeah, it might be like one level of the catacombs, and then you're in the sewers after, and then like yeah, so it always mixes it up, and it's always pretty cool. The other awesome thing that they added in, and this is it doesn't happen too often, but it is kind of cool, is they have these things called I think treasure gnomes, if I remember correctly, that they'll appear and like as they run around they'll drop treasure, and if you can kill them they drop a lot of really good stuff, but
Yeah.
but occasionally they'll drop a portal to like their planet, like or their area, like the treasure gnome area, and you go in and just it's so much money everywhere, and then there's a gnome boss that you have to beat, and they always drop like this ridiculously good thing. So it's kind of like an instance inside of an instance. Like it's dumb, but it's really cool too. It gets you really excited when you're like, oh, treasure dome, kill him, and all they do is evade and avoid and run away. So sometimes it's really hard when you're going through an instance and it's filled with monsters, and you're like, oh, get the fuck out of the way! I'm trying to get this treasure dome.
It raises more questions, Ben. Is like, are we the bad guys in games?
Oh,
I think
totally.
yes.
In any Diablo game, your goal is to just murder everything that you see, irregardless of like race, gender, political
just
agenda.
minding their own business. They're minding their own business. You just show up in their place and just fucking kill them. It's great.
You kick in a door to like where all these gnomes are like living, and the first thing that you say as you pull out your axe is, "You walked into the wrong neighborhood," and all the gnomes go, "But we live here," and you're already just cutting their faces off and ripping out their intestines.
And I miss the Witch Doctor too. He was my favorite character.
But you've come to our house.
Start pouring acid over them.
Yeah, the Witch Doctor was really fun. I don't know, like talking about it, I'm guaranteed gonna play Diablo again now. I've heard that the population of the game is like suffering badly, but I don't even give a shit. I'm just ready to play that game again.
Yeah, it's like as long as you have someone to play with, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. All right,
it's funny though. They never ever put verses in like they said they would.
I don't really give a shit about that though.
No,
like,
I know. Either did I. I didn't give a fine. I was never going to use it anyways. I just found it very funny, so they kept on talking about it, but never made it in the end.
I mean, it makes sense that it sort of transferred over to Heroes of the Storm, though, because, like, what would verses realistically be except pretty much Heroes of the Storm? Like, they already have a bunch of the characters in there, you know, Sorceress, whatever, but you can't have a versus mode and still use people's items. Like, one side is always going to clearly win if they've got more damage, you know?
Yeah.
So it would pretty much be the equivalent of Heroes of the Storm, essentially. It's just a base character with base moves as the Sorceress, and then like a base character with base moves as like the Witch Doctor or something. And
yeah,
they've already
what they should do is just add them to Hero Storms, the game.
Yeah, so
then everyone will be happy.
Yeah, so I think that they've got. I know that they have the Source in there. I think they might have the Witch Doctor.
Oh, nice! I fucking love the Witch Doctor. He was so well. I loved all of his moves in that game. He was just so
funny
good.
Too. You would just do his chanting every time you did anything. Yeah. It's just like, I've never had so much fun just listening to my character just like pray to his voodoo gods.
I did. I just loved it. Just having I just summoned the suicide. I like it. That game was actually very well designed, and I just loved it because you had these basic attacks, but then you had the different upgrades for them that you can change any time. And I was loved it too, because I believe he even had suicide dogs too that would just run up and explode on people. And it was just constantly summing those things up, and they just run and just die and just explode. It was great.
Yeah, you could have it where, actually, I'm not sure because I don't want to say.
And he also had the
certain.
giant though too. Oh, I forgot about the giant. He can summon a fucking giant. That was great.
Yeah. See, I still remember Diablo 2 more than Diablo 3 at this point. I remember all the golems you could summon in Diablo 2.
Yeah. I used to play the monk too, and just to tank, and all I do honestly is I had shit damage, but I would never die, so I just stand in the middle while you guys kept on shooting at me and just killing everything around me. I just kept on doing the same combo over and over again, so I just wouldn't lose health.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times.
I remember playing as the witch, or no, not the Witch Doctor, the Sorceress a lot. I liked just the dual laser beams, you know, the Emperor Palpatine.
So good, yeah. The Witch Doctor and the Monk I liked a lot. Each of them just totally different.
Yep.
I just like how the Witch Doctor was just it's just this scrawny old dude with a pot belly stomach. Just the ugliest fucker.
Yeah.
It was great.
The Crusader that came out in Reaper of Souls, he's really cool too. And then I haven't heard anything about the Necromancer, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna play him when I start up, probably in 2 hours tonight.
That's what I played in Diablo 2. I played the Necromancer in Diablo 2.
Yeah, the Necromancer was really funny in Diablo 2 in general was just a really funny game. There were so many fucking things that were broken in that game. The Necromancer could do Bone Wall and Bone Barrier, where the Bone Wall, like it extended as far as many points as you put into it, and same thing with I think it was like bone shield or bone barrier, but it would make a circle of bones around you, and so pretty much you could like lock up the entire game by being a necromancer, walking into the middle of the room and casting bone barrier on yourself over and over, because it would just make circle after wider circle around you, and it would eventually take up the entire room with just bones that you couldn't move around. I remember that's all I would do as a necro. Is my brother's 4 years older than me, and he was like, you know, the one that was invested into the game, and he had like, you know, a sorceress that did like 70k damage or something. She was a light source, and I was just the necromancer that would just fuck with people. Go into the middle of the room, cast a bone wall that like bone wall being the linear one, it would extend like fucking 2 miles long, and everyone would have to walk around it. Yeah, that game was, and then
I remember too, like the barbarian and his leap.
Yep. Oh my god.
It was so good.
So another thing, actually, I mean, while we're talking about the game, I might as well tell these stories. So
Yeah, go for it.
there was the server that you could cheat on in Diablo where, well, it was like a pretty well known cheat like script tool, I guess. But and you could, as long as you weren't on the new season, there was like a server specifically where people would just go and use these abilities of like, oh, I'm super overpowered. Let's see who can immediately kill the other person as fast as they can. So it was like infinitely amount max skill of everything, you know. Like it was like, I'm talking about my like bone wall that was pretty long. These guys would cast a bone wall, and it would just be like from one side of the map to the other, regardless of how large the map was. So my buddy, he made a barbarian, and as a lot of people just like max out damage, and they max out like, you know, base damage and all your abilities. All he did was max out his leap ability, and he called him. I think he called him Speedy McDuck. Was his barbarian character. And so all he would do was he would start at the base encampment in level 1, and he would just and just jump in the air, and then you wouldn't see the character for like 5 minutes. And he like showed me back in the day. He was like, "This is what happens when I initiate Speedy McDuck," and he just, and then it just shows the screen like panning over the world slowly, and obviously the character's like above, but you can't see him, and so it's just like panning over the map, and then it gets to the edge, and it just starts hitting the edge of the map over and over again, and then like 2 minutes pass, and you finally see the barbarian drop on the other side.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. But no, Diablo is definitely like the game that I grew up with. That was like my first real online experience, I think.
Yeah, my first experience was World War II Online. That was a first-person shooter game where you played online and you actually fought across Europe. And, like, the whole map was Europe. I shit you not. It was awesome.
Do you shit me?
I
shit you not.
They had, like, planes, tanks, jeeps, everything. It was nuts. I miss that game.
It might still be up.
No, it actually is still up, but it's past its prime. It still has like a very small community, but like, 'cause I looked it up a while ago. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's something that's like, it was good back then, but it's gonna be shit now. I know that, so I'd rather keep the good memories.
Right. Let's move on to our top 5. We've been kind of chatting for a bit too long here.
No, I don't want to do the top 5 anymore. Let's do something else.
It's top 6.
Well, we already fucked up, alright? We already fucked up the top 5 anyway, so...
Yeah.
If you were listening to our last podcast, we came up with the top 5 last minute. And when we said the top 5, that was the last time we ever talked about it ever again. So me and Ben had 2 different ideas of what actually the top 5 really was.
Yeah, so what I ended our last podcast with, I said, I mean, it was obviously improvised, but I said top 5 coolest characters. Now, if you're like me and any other person that plays games in the world, you're gonna hear that and be like, oh, that's a pretty broad subject, Ben. Well, yeah, no shit, viewer. So And I like to limit myself in certain ways. So obviously, when I started making a list, I had my own limitations to like how can I make this a reasonable number five amount. And Mike obviously did the same thing. Like he chose Mike. You did more like narrative driven characters, right?
Yeah, not narrative-driven characters. I just base it on their character, not actually like the fun to play them or anything like that. Just based on their character, really, and their background story at the same time. But yeah, so mine's more narrative and their background story and who they actually were.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah, I
I
guess
did the
mine is a
polar
narrative
opposite.
way. Yeah.
I did characters from games that if I had a list of people to choose from, I would always choose this character. So like, Ezio from Assassin's Creed, or I'm trying to think of someone else. Like, I wouldn't, or like Solid Snake. Like, pretty much, if you're given a character and that's the only character that you have to choose, he didn't make the list. It's characters from like games that you had options of like, oh, I'm gonna play this
All right,
character.
please don't tell me you actually picked the guy not from Assassin's Creed, though. I swear to God, you better not pick him.
No, because he's not on a chosen list. You have to play as him.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting at. All right.
Okay.
You can go
That guy
first.
sucks.
You can go first with your number five. I just realized we didn't pick a top five for next week either, so I'm just gonna be thinking about that while you're doing yours.
Okay, yeah. So my number five is Nathan Drake from Uncharted. He's from you. He's only like he's a Sony character. I just liked him a lot because he's like the embodiment of a more of just like Indiana Jones, and he just I only played one of the games, and I think it was the second one with you, Ben. We only played the second one, right?
Yeah.
Together. Yeah, and that game was just so much fun.
Among
But I
Thieves
just
or
I
something?
yeah, Among Thieves, I believe it was, and I just loved his character. His character was a very cool guy, and like I said, he was like Indiana Jones, and Indiana Jones is one of my. He's not my top favorite, but he's one of my favorites out there of just characters, and that's why he's on my number five.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
let's see. There's four games that have Nathan Drake in them, and then they just released a new game that isn't Nathan Drake, but it is an Uncharted
Yeah.
game. I guess also there's
I
like
forget.
there's also
I think it's like
Vita
his
games as
girlfriend
well.
or something like that.
What's up?
I think it's based off his girlfriend.
I
It's
don't
like
know, but
Nathan Drake's lover or something like that. It's like, yeah. I heard mixed feelings about the game, but yeah, but that was my number five though.
it looked cool. It's
Uh,
called The Lost Legacy.
yeah. Number four is Isaac from Dead Space, and I just felt bad for the guy, and he's just a space engineer that just gets fucked over on the spaceship with stuck with like the most scariest motherfucking creatures ever, and also dealing with some huge losses too, and it just like, and the guy just goes on. He just chugs on like nothing. I'm like, fucking badass. I mean, the guy is freaking out, but he's just this engineer that just fucking becomes a total badass right off the bat and starts like. That's why he's on my list because it's just freaking insane.
Who would have thought a badass engineer?
Well, I mean, he's
Fuck you,
badass
engineers.
now.
No, kidding.
It's just like a basic engineer just all of a sudden just thrust into a situation with these most like scariest creatures ever put in a video game. Like Dead Space was a wonderful horror game. That game was just like so good in being creepy, and especially with the enemies. And it just like, and this guy just like goes like, fuck it. I mean, he's still scared shitless, but this guy just gets through it like nothing. Like, that's awesome. Especially with like, his majority of his weapons are just freaking space tools. You know, that's it. They're just futuristic tools. And I thought that was just awesome. So, that's my number four, Isaac Clarke from Dead Space. And number three is Ellie from Last of Us. I absolutely love Ellie. I always really enjoyed her character. It's just like how she handled the situations, like because like Last of Us is purely just like an escort mission, but you're not really escorting her because she's a fucking badass assistant too. I mean, she helps you out too by running up and stabbing people in the back if they get up on you or distracting people, and she's just like a total badass character. And she's number three because she's like the most best person I ever had to escort in any game at all. And I hate escort missions, and that's what Last of Us is. It's just one giant escort mission. And the person you're escorting, though, is a total fucking badass. And she's funny, too, in the game.
So Mike, you like escorts? Is that what you're getting at, bud? You're at a hotel,
Well, yeah, who
right?
doesn't?
What are you doing at that hotel, buddy?
None of your damn business, that's what.
A man gets lonely.
I'm on the road for 2 weeks by myself. Not true. I got coworkers here, and we got freaking hammered one night already. Jesus.
And
Did
that's
not
where
like the
the
bill at
idea
the end of that day.
and that's where the idea of escorts came up. Someone's like, I'm drunk, I don't give a fuck. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Um,
Nice one, Ben. Nice one. So
totally,
that's my
bro.
number 3 is Ellie from Last of Us.
All right.
And so now it's Ben's turn.
No. Okay, yeah.
Honestly, should I just finish? Should I honestly? Because like we have two different types of lists. So should I just finish mine, and then let you go?
Yeah, that makes sense actually.
Because like we're just it doesn't make sense because like to split up like we usually do since we kind of went in two different directions.
Sure.
God, so this one's kind of hard for me. Because like these two are really close together because they're almost similar at the same time too. Number 2 is Samus from Metroid, and because she's a badass space bounty hunter. I love space. I love bounty hunters. Just the idea of being a bounty hunter, and she's just like this awesome person with this sweet ass armor suit. You know, there's not much else to say because that's all you really know about Samus. At least
Emphasize
because
on
I've
the
only really
sweet
played.
ass part. She's a sweet ass character.
In my defense, like I do know that they did like a few other games released when they gave her more of a character background. I never played those. I've only played like the Nintendo ones, like the old ones. But yeah, I just love the original background story. A simple space bounty hunter, and with a kick-ass suit. Who also has a very nice tad ass too.
It was very hard to masturbate to those pixels.
And then number 1 is, I mean, it's not too big of a surprise though. It's Master Chief or John Spartan 117 from Halo. He's just a really just badass, soldier. Love them to death,
His
love
last
them.
name is Spartan 177.
Well, no, I mean that he's a Spartan and his number because there are all kind of like they don't have. They're all people that were kidnapped, so they don't have last names. They all just have numbers. So they're called Spartans, and he's Spartan 117, but his first name is John. So most people call him John 117.
Don't most people call him
But
Master Chief?
Yeah, soldiers call him Master Chief. They gave him that name for boost morale, just to boost people's morale during the war because people were getting their ass kicked by the Covenant, and that's when the Spartans came out. And John 117 was kind of like the head of like the media. Everyone knew who he was, and so soldiers started calling him Master Chief in the end. So.
Okay.
No, like I love the lore, and this is like I love the whole story of Halo universe.
We're getting our asses handed out there. Call me a different name. It'll make everyone fight better.
You know what I'm talking about. It's just simple propaganda, you jackass.
My name is
Fucking
no longer
smarthead.
John. My name is now MC, or Master Chieftain for short.
MC.
For long.
I love it, MC.
My name is MC John.
Just has fucking like grilled on his chest, just in gold.
Alright, you guys ready to fight better now? And some guy's like rips off his shirt. He's like, yeah, let's do it.
Gets his nailer right in the face and it explodes.
Alright, continue.
He's just a badass. There's not much else to say, like, because pretty much right now everyone who's been listening to the podcast knows that I love anything that's kind of space themed, and I also he's just a really cool character. I enjoyed his story. It was yeah. So he's my number 1 because like everyone knows that I fucking love Halo if they've been listening to the podcast at all. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he's my number 1. But these are all lovable characters for me though, except for Nathan Drake. I just like them. He's like he's bottom 5. I said Clark and up to Master Chief. Like yeah,
Do you have
awesome
any honorable
people.
mentions?
I
mean, there's a million, but yeah, I don't know if you had any in mind. Coolest character is such a flexible
yeah.
thing.
I did. Yeah, I do have another one. It's Joel from Last of Us, the one you play as. I really enjoyed his attitude after everything happens, just his look on life and all that stuff, I thought was pretty badass. He's kind of like he just turned this person that just doesn't give a fuck. He's like,
Spoilers.
what?
Kidding.
I didn't say anything.
It was in anticipation. No, okay, keep going.
And it's just like he has this attitude where he's like, you shoot first and then bash the brains in next, and that's it. I loved it. I loved his whole attitude on life. It was really cool.
Ask questions isn't even part of his two-step formula.
No,
Step
there
one is
isn't.
murder. Step 2 is murder more.
Yeah, that's why I loved it. He didn't bullshit around. He's like, he didn't waste any time. It's like, this fucker's trying to kill me. I don't give a fuck why. He's gonna fucking die. That's all that matters.
I like that. That's good. Yeah. All right. Well, good list.
Thank you.
I don't know what to say when we're not comparing the two.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like,
We just do a little clap for you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. So that was Mike's. Mike, just go through just say the 5 again, just as a recap.
Okay, so Nathan Drake from Uncharted for number 5, Isaac Clarke from Dead Space, Ellie from Last of Us, Samus from Metroid, and then Master Chief, or MC for short, from Halo.
MC John.
MC John. John Cena! Just had that. Oh my god.
So, the list that I chose.
That reminded me of something, by the way. Is like, remember that the musical Hamilton?
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of songs that I actually like. It's actually a really good musical, but I wanted to re-listen to one of them, so I came and found it. And so the guy keeps on saying like it's all about like who he is, and like one of the lines is like my name is, and then Hamilton. But like right when that first line came in, all it was like it just cuts to John Cena, and it just plays the whole song of it. Then it scared the living crap out of me.
Oh my god.
By the way, that is my favorite meme or just thing out there now. Is just John Cena. It's my favorite thing out there.
It's pretty good.
I laugh every time I hear that go off. I'm always caught off by it too. I keep on forgetting about it, and then I'm always surprised, and it's so good.
Yeah.
I love you, John. If you ever listen to this, you bring me so much joy.
Yeah. Out of like the 7 people listening to this podcast, John Cena's one of them.
You never know.
Dude, please get us WrestleMania tickets.
Oh my god! That'd be glorious.
All right, so my top 5 is coolest characters with the sub criteria being characters from games that you had to choose from a list. So you don't automatically play as this character. It's just like if we're playing a game, I always get to be this character, or else I'm gonna have a real bad time. So my number 5 is Singed from League of Legends, because Singed is just awesome.
Dude, I'd always try to make you play Singed. I love when you play Singed.
Yeah, it's so funny. Don't chase Singed. It's funny to me that people kill themselves when you play Singed.
Yeah.
You actively just run away from them and they kill themselves. It's probably the funniest mechanic of any game out there. Like,
I just loved watching that because I knew when you played Sims, and everyone would just be chasing you around, just dying while I just had a free lane then just to go about.
Pretty much.
It was great.
I remember when we used to play when we were really young. Like, pretty much. I mean, this is like in season 2 or something. But I mean,
Yeah.
you get your fucking. What was the chest armor called? You get your force of nature, and
Yeah.
and pretty much once you got your force of nature and you pop your ult, which used to raise your tenacity, like you were good to go. Singe was pretty much unstoppable or unkillable at that point, and that was on the same level of unfairness as like Jax with his dodge back in the day.
Or Nunu too, with his free health gain, 24/7.
He still has that, right? Does he?
Yeah, he does. He still rocks it. He's still an awesome jungler.
Yeah, no, I like Nunu a lot. But yeah, so my number
Moki.
5 is Singe, just because like such good times playing as him, but just like his strategy is the funniest thing ever. The guy does pretty much no damage when you start out with him, and then as you start to build up damage, like it just ticks away, little chips of
Yep.
someone's health, and they just end up killing themselves all the time. Like no one
The
catches
funny
on.
thing, though, like he really has no like abilities that attack. He has an ability that just leaves a trail of poison behind. He flips people and then he slows people. That's all of his abilities are, and then he hits people with a shield. That's all he does.
Yeah, he's
It's
got
like
his
the
shield
funniest
badge.
thing.
Yep,
It's the funniest thing.
I love
Yet he's such
Singed.
a good champion.
Well, I don't know about anymore, but I really wish that
Yeah.
they were as innovative with other characters as they were with Singed. Not to say that they don't try. I mean, there's a couple, like I've heard of they had one guy that's like Kindred or something, and then there's a bunch of other people that have like really interesting abilities. But yeah,
Yeah.
Singed was always my main man. So that's my
Oriana
number.
was mine from League of Legends.
Yeah, Oriana was cool.
Yeah, it was like that was my number one go-to. Besides Urgot.
I don't miss playing League of Legends, but I miss playing as characters from League of Legends.
Yeah.
I hate playing games of League of Legends, but I like them a lot.
Yeah, I love the characters too, but I don't care much for the community or just putting 45 minutes in a game and then having a chance to lose.
Yeah, the games definitely went on for too long. I mean,
Yeah.
actually, I don't even know if that's a good thing to say, because otherwise I look at Heroes of the Storm and I'm like, oh, those games are way too short. They're 10, 15 minutes. Like, I guess I don't
Oh, are
even...
they only that long? I might play a little bit of Hero Storms if they're only that long.
Yeah, give it a shot. It's... I
That's
think
why I
you'll be
don't-
surprised at...
I mean, that's why I don't mind the cheating in PUBG because of matches, like, I can start one immediately and matches are not that long in the end. They're only, like, maybe 15 to 20 minutes, you know?
Yeah. So that's my number 5 is Singed from League of Legends. Number 4 is Johnny Napalm from Guitar Hero.
Really?
Yeah, dude. There's like no distinguishable anything about him, but if I wasn't playing as Johnny Napalm, I would like not be in my groove. Johnny Napalm just got me. He was cool. I don't really have too much to say about Johnny Napalm. Like, nothing that he does really affects the gameplay at all. It's just the fact that he was rocking the, it was like a mohawk and Liberty Spikes combo where he had, like, spikes of hair going down his head and...
Yeah, he's a punk little bitch. You know? Just a punk guy.
Whatever.
Sorry if you had a mohawk. I kid. I kid.
If I had... No, I didn't have a mohawk back in the day. No. Thank God.
No.
Yeah, so I'll just skip over that one because I mean, there's
nothing else to it.
Yeah,
You
I
just love the
thought,
character.
Yeah, I just thought he was a cool guy. So yeah, Johnny Napalm from Guitar Hero, number 4. But you know what? Also, at the same time, it's worth defending. He's on the list, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say that there's a reason. There's a reason that he's there is because he meant a lot to me. So you know what?
You
Fuck
know,
you.
Before we did this podcast, Ben said that he would get he said that I'll get a good laugh on number 5, even though it's not a real one. Honestly, that should have been your number 5, and the number 5 should have been your number 4.
No, so my number 5 actually I changed to an honorable mention, and you're gonna die in your seat here. So yeah, get ready for the honorable mentions because they're gonna be better than probably this entire list.
Actually, I have one more honorable mention myself after you're done.
All right, so number 3, and this is where we start picking up in the list. I think I like my top 3 a lot.
Go for
My number 3 is the Gunzerker from Borderlands 2 because he
Nice.
was fucking awesome. If I was gonna describe any character in a game as a killing machine, that would be the Gunzerker. I mean, you can have 2 rocket launchers in your hands just unloading on someone. You can have 2 assault rifles. It was just such an awesome mechanic having 2 guns of any combination, 2 shotguns, 2 whatever. You're constantly healing up health. Like, I don't know. Gunzerking was like the most fun thing in the world.
I'm gonna let you finish, but Brick was way better.
Brick was fun in the first game, but he was also just he was like
It just I loved it. He's just stupidly strong, and all of his super ability was running up and punching people. It was great.
it had a really good mechanic of like the whole punching thing, but they never really developed it anywhere. Like it would have been cool. Like there was the DLC character for Borderlands 2, which was the Psycho, where you got to play with his buzzsaw axe, and like that was a cool idea.
Oh, yeah,
But
that's right. I forgot about that DLC.
as much as I like Brick and the fact that all he does is punch things, it just didn't really feel like it had a bunch of weight to the punches. And I was seriously considering these two guys before I came up with the Gunzerker. So
He still has
I'm
the
glad you
best
brought it
scream,
up.
though. He still has the best scream, though.
Oh yeah,
When you're going to go Berserk mode, that scream alone is iconic.
yeah, definitely. And it's kind of like a half maniacal laugh as well. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's good.
Love it.
Now, I remember doing duel games with Brick where we would both fight each other and then just start punching in the face like fucking Rock'em Sock'em Robots or something. um,
Good
but
times.
but irregardless, I mean Brick is on almost the same level, but Gunzerker takes it just because it was so much fun. I mean,
Oh, yeah, I mean, he gets dual fucking anything, so.
and you recharge health and you recharge ammo like while you're Gunzerking. You didn't have to search for as much ammo. It was just such a cool, useful ability.
For sure.
Borderlands in general has just really cool characters. But okay, so that's my number 3. number 2, number 2 is kind of like a hit into left field because obviously all these other characters are like kind of badass, really cool looking, whatever. Number 2 is Tip Top from Diddy Kong Racing. And if you're on,
Oh my god, like I keep on forgetting that we had two different lists. I keep on getting caught off guard when you tell me these damn characters. I'm like,
They're-
oh yeah, you said fun to play as.
no,
Once-
they're cool. Fuck you, Diddy Kong Racing. Tip Top is the
No,
coolest.
I'm not knocking it. I just because I keep on having the mindset like we're doing narrative characters, and I keep on forgetting that you're going from like characters that you want to pick, and it's just like, and so I'm just like,
Has a vast, rich background. He is a turtle from
Really? What's
the
his background? Yeah.
Banjo-Kazooie series,
yeah.
and he teaches you how to play music inside of a crocodile.
What's his reason for racing?
Well, he comes from a troubled family. His mother used to beat him with the Bible, and his dad was a struggling alcoholic. And so Tip Top, he found his what's it called? Your
Escapism?
escape. Well, he found his escape through racing. You know, like he didn't want life to pass him by. And as a turtle, I mean, that was like a big struggle for all of his family. And
Yeah, because they lived for so long. So
yeah, and so he was like, you know what? I'm gonna make friends with a monkey, with Diddy Kong, and then Diddy Kong. I mean, who doesn't know Diddy Kong the mechanic? Like that's like, you know, I say Diddy Kong, you say car racing, and like modifying go karts. Like tomato potato, they're the same thing.
oh, totally. Yeah,
So
no
I mean,
doubt.
rich story there. Tip Top, like he's just it's the hero's journey. There's no
How
other way
old
to
is Tip
describe-
Top?
52.
Still dealing with his abusive father
it's
and his
it's-
Bible-hating mother.
it's
Age
tough.
50.
Turtles live forever.
Yeah, so technically he's still in his teen years.
Yeah, I mean, what 52-year-old hasn't ever gone through like a go-kart period, you know? Like everyone's done
To
that.
get away from their abusive father who's 100 years old.
You got to go fast.
Yeah, because that's a normal thing everyone has to deal with.
And so that's why I picked Tip Top is just, you know, he's a rich character. He's got a lot of background, and you just, like, I connected with him on a personal level. Also, he's got the best turning in the game.
He's got the best. All right, what's your number one? Just end it there. Just end it right
He's
there.
got tight
Perfect.
turning. My number one is Tank Dempsey from Nazi Zombies. Once again, a rich background. Tank grew up in a... I don't know. He just murders everything he sees.
But you can't pick him though, you can't pick the character.
No, but
In
you.
the-
That's the thing. Is like you had a chance of
Okay,
not being
true.
him.
True.
It's not that you were always Tank Dempsey. It's that you had the opportunity to be him, and when you were, it was like, fuck yeah, I'm Tank Dempsey. Like,
I want to hear more of reason why he's your number one. I need more.
All right. So, well, he's a murdering machine, which I think just kind of goes unsaid. If you're gonna pick
Yeah.
coolest character, like whatever person I'm thinking for my number one coolest character, he's going to have like some guy's esophagus in one of his hands, like just bloodied and every like it's gonna be like this badass imagery. If Arnold Schwarzenegger was a video game character, it would pretty much be number one there, but that's not possible. Um, so Tank Dempsey is kind of like the equivalent of that. So Tank Dempsey, why is he my number one? He's just you play him and you just know immediately I'm happy that I'm in America. He's a gun-toting Uran, just average American, just goes to work and just murders people on the way. Like killing Nazi zombies is no out of his circle. He's like totally in the zone in that situation. I mean, he may as well be like having Thanksgiving with like his girlfriend's relatives, and he'll be in the exact same mindset of just like gotta murder everything I see. You know, it's just
Yeah, totally.
a
Typical American. Just
typical
red, blue, and white American.
red, white, and blue. Emphasis on the red.
This is on the red.
Yep, Tank Dempsey. That should be his freaking tag. His tagline is red, white, and blue. Emphasis on the red.
That's a good tagline for someone.
Yeah, Activision, Treyarch, hire me. I can't voice Tank Dempsey because I'm not Jesus Christ, but I mean I can write his lines.
So, what's your list over again?
It's Singed from League of Legends. It's Johnny Napalm from Guitar Hero. It's Gunzerker from Borderlands 2. It's motherfucking Tip Top from Diddy Kong Racing, and it's Tank Dempsey from Nazi Zombies. My honorable
And
mention, Mike.
I'm excited to hear this.
He didn't get it into the list, and you'll know exactly why once I say his name. Oh my god. My honorable mention is Rodney Mullen from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Because he's awesome. But Ben, that's based on a real character. That's based on a real person. Well, fuck you, everyone in the world. He's in a video game and he's awesome.
What the fuck?
Rodney Mullen from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Oh my god. If you've ever seen any of his skating videos, the guy's unstoppable. I mean, he invented the kickflip. He invented all flip tricks. He's a god. Simple. And the fact that they put him in a game, I felt, justified him being in the coolest characters in video games.
Oh boy. And then that's something.
Yeah. And then I had one other honorable mention being Parappa the Rapper, but
Oh yeah,
you
of
didn't
course.
get a chance to choose him from a list, so that's why I was like, not gonna make it. But no, the real takeaway from all this is Tip Top, Tank Dempsey, and Rodney Mullen. That's the trifecta.
And then I have to give just one honorable mention that everyone who's played this game knows him, loves him, and hates him at the same time. And then that's Gandhi on Peace Mode on Civilization 5.
So you're also going with the real character based in a game.
Well, we all know Gandhi on Peace Mode, because Gandhi on Peace Mode becomes a nuclear holocaust.
Yeah, you have to describe exactly what this is about. So I think
Okay.
this is Civ 3 or Civ 4 that this was.
Yeah,
that
it's
this
true. I
glitch
think
occurred.
it's... No, isn't it Civ 5? Or no, is it...
If you want to start talking about it, I'll look it up.
So there's the game Civilization where you pick these certain leaders of countries to play as, and then you develop through the timeline of just getting through the Stone Age, the Renaissance Age, and getting like from bows to rifles to ships to tanks. And so each character you can play as is some historical character that it actually existed. One of these characters is Gandhi. Now there's difficulty modes set up in this game, and how difficulty modes work is that the higher you set the difficulty, the more aggressive people get in the game. Everyone's aggressiveness raised.
It was first noted in Civilization 2 that this glitch was occurring.
Okay. And the thing is, though, is that when you lower the difficulty, everyone's aggression will get lower then. The problem with Gandhi, though, is that he already starts technically at 0. So when you play as peaceful mode, his then aggression went down to negative, which then put him back onto the highest aggression.
Yeah.
So if you were playing peaceful mode and Gandhi was in your game, he'll come at you with nuclear bombs and wars 24/7.
Yeah.
He'll
If
come
the
at you with
scale was
full force.
essentially if the scale was essentially 0 to 1,000 and he was at 0 and you gave yourself the handicap of playing on like a more peaceful server, it would knock him to -1, which then set him up to aggressive level 1,000, which everyone else is like. I think the highest that you could get is like maybe half that or something. So he would just like. I never played, but I
He literally
imagine.
becomes Hitler.
Yeah, I imagine the first turn like he declares war on you or something.
It's just great, and it's just so funny because that's the number one joke in Civilization with Gandhi. Is like Gandhi is just the guy with the nukes, and just has to nuke everyone. So it's more of an inside joke, yes, with Civilization, but I still love it, and I just love that about him so much.
Yeah,
Just Gandhi on a warpath.
that's good. I like that. I've always appreciated nuclear Gandhi. Um, yeah. So, what was our news story again this week, Mike? I forget.
Okay, so there wasn't that much going on, but if you're into the gaming world, honestly, now even if you are not into
I'm
games, you
not.
absolutely heard about this. So, uh, EA, right when Star Wars Battlefront 2 came out, EA took away microtransactions in the game, so you could not buy like experience point like these things like you couldn't buy in-game cash to unlock stuff in the game. They took it all out. And they said for now, but they will apply it later. Later.
Emphasis on the temporary, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. And some people have actually noticed that you can still buy. Actually, they're crystals. Their money system is crystals, and apparently you can buy these crystals in stores, like you can buy Steam cards. Because it did say that they took out the in-game purchases. Never said they would take out the outside.
Hmm.
Because some people said they came across of it when they were at like some stores. So I wonder if you can still activate those codes then.
Probably. I mean, for
Yeah.
anyone that bought those, like, at this point, they're already kind of like dealt into that. Like, it, they have to. Otherwise, it's like, oh, we
I want
took
to
it
make
out,
double
and
sure
then
they're
these
real too.
what?
I want to make sure that someone just didn't like graphically cut that in because you know how the internet is.
Mm.
Can you buy crystals on the outside?
On the outside, you might have to be a bit more specific.
Yeah, I know.
Can you buy crystals on the outside? You might just want to at least say the game name. Oh man. Yeah, I didn't
At
even realize
stores.
that Battlefield or Battlefront 2 was even out yet. Like I don't really care about those games. I guess I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. Not that that matters. I mean, it's just it comes down to a fighting game. Like if it looks like a good shooting game.
No, yeah.
But no, I guess it doesn't look terrible. It's just never really
No,
been my thing.
it's one of those things I don't really care for the gameplay in it. I mean, it looks nice and all that, but yeah, I don't care much for it either. I wasn't gonna get original anyways. I'm kind of really down with the massive, just multi. Well, it's not even massive. It's just like 12 on. It's just like I think it's just like 12 on 12 still.
Yeah.
So there's really nothing new about it. And it's like there's nothing special. Just an overpriced game that's gonna have just a bunch of bullshit.
I don't know. I mean, obviously they put a bunch of work into it. I don't know if I'd call it overpriced. If $60 is the average price these days, it definitely seems like it wasn't.
Well, I mean, they're gonna
Top
have a
out.
bunch. They're gonna have a bunch of DLC. I didn't mean to say like overpriced for the cost of it, but they're gonna have a shit ton of just like, oh, buy this season pack, buy this. Like here's like 20 DLCs that's gonna come out in the first month the game's out. I'm like, awesome. No, thank you.
I'm trying to remember what some of the critiques were on the first one. If I remember correctly, people were saying that there weren't enough maps on the first game.
Oh yeah, there was like none. I think there was just like 4 when
And
it
then,
first came out.
uh, once again, I don't want to overstep my bounds because this is a game that I haven't played, so
Yeah,
I try to keep my
there was
opinions in check for the most part when it's something I haven't even touched. I feel like that's a pretty
no, yeah, which
appropriate thing
makes
to do.
sense.
But at the same time, if I remember correctly, they were releasing like
Limited
a solo
gameplay.
player mode for Battlefront 2.
Yeah, there's a single campaign already for it, which
Yeah,
they didn't
campaign.
have for the first one I played. For the
Yeah.
first one, so
All right.
and yeah, there was no game modes, and so they added a lot more into the second one. But still, there's not much that really gets my attention. So, and I've never been a really big fan of too much of EA stuff lately. So it's just like, yeah, especially since it's all just the multiplayer.
It's
And
just
over here, there's a bunch of glitches in the game too already. So like, it's not worth it.
I feel like that's a difficult thing to say though because EA is such a huge company. I mean, there's got to be some stuff that you liked that came out. I mean, Mass Effect
Well,
Andromeda had
actually,
great
that's a
reviews.
yeah, right. I didn't play that one. That's for sure. Actually, that is a good question. When is the last EA game I did play? Did
Battlefield
EA?
1 was EA, and I mean that was a good. I didn't play it, but
I
that
didn't play
was
that one though.
it was very well
I
received
said, what
though.
was the last? What's one- like I'm yeah, but like I'm trying to think of what was the last EA game I actually played. They didn't make Rainbow Six, did they? I think they maybe did actually. Rainbow Six Siege.
That's Ubisoft
Is that Ubisoft? Okay, so
because
yeah.
it's on
So no.
UPlay.
Yep, that's right. Actually, yeah, I have their Origin player. Let's see if I can. If do I have them on my desktop? I don't have them in their thing on my desktop
EA made
anymore.
Mirror's Edge, from the looks of it.
They made Mirror. That thing might have been my last one then. EA's released roster.
Hmm.
EA releases.
In the last 2 years, there haven't been much. They do a lot of
Yeah.
sports games, so I mean, I don't
Yeah,
think
which
that
I
there's.
don't like. Yeah, I don't. I have nothing against them. They're just not my cup of tea. If I was gonna play a sports game, I would just, play them
Mike, they made
in real
Minions
life.
Paradise on an iPhone app.
No, did they actually make that? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's your favorite game, bud.
Oh, jeez. So I think the last game I played was Battlefield 4.
Yeah, I'm looking through each
From
year, and they made The Sims as well. Titanfall, well, because they bought.
I didn't play Titanfall though. Yeah, they just bought though. They didn't make. They had
Yeah,
nothing to do with Titanfall 1 or 2.
well, I mean that's. I'm.
They didn't. I'm
There's
not
so many
including them.
companies that EA
Titanfall does
owns.
not include with EA. That they do not. See, Titanfall does not include what EA made. They were no part of Titanfall at all. So it's like Titanfall was a good game I heard, but I didn't even play that one anyways though. But I'm just saying I'm not giving them Titanfall. Titanfall was a good game, but they had nothing to do with that at all.
If
Not
you
even the second
acquire
one
a
either.
company, yeah. When did they buy it? Before or after the game was made?
It was after. They just bought it this year. We talked about it. They bought it like 2 weeks ago.
Visceral? This is Visceral. That no, that's
Yeah,
Dead
they
Space.
just
That's Dead
bought
Space. Never
them.
mind. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My bad. I'm getting my facts mixed up.
I was, I was like, what are we talking? Visceral was just killed, I believe.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, Visceral was just ended, and then they bought the other company right afterwards.
Oh shit! EA made the
Dead
Secret
Space,
World.
yeah. Well, did they? Actually, that's a good question. Dead Space, was that
Visceral.
made before they were bought out?
Um,
Let's check out the Wikipedia.
I think that Visceral made Dead Space 1, and then EA bought them for Dead Space 2 and Dead Space 3.
Yeah, and I love the first one. The second one. I at first I honestly when we first talked about it, I did rip on it, but actually I think I did enjoy the second one too. I'll have to go back and see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna
I might
go
have to
ahead
give
and
that one a
say
replay.
that just because EA buys a company doesn't mean that they just like clear cut every single person that's previously worked there. Like a lot of the same talent that even though they're working under a different publish or developer, like it's still probably the same people that worked on Dead Space 1 through 3.
Actually, did you hear about the guy who made Plant vs Zombies?
No.
EA let him go. The guy who made EA bought Plant vs Zombies, and they actually fired him. The creator, the person who actually was the lead developer of the whole game, the one who actually came up with the idea and made it.
Yeah.
And then yeah, they fired him.
Well, that makes sense though.
Not
'Cause
too long ago.
they did Garden Warfare, which was completely different from Plants vs Zombies. And then the only other thing that they did with Plants vs Zombies is the sequel, Plants vs Zombies 2.
Yeah, they made vs Zombies
and
too.
that was
Eh,
free microtransaction phone game. Like they totally switched up their theme on that. So I could see that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it still sucks though. I mean, hell, he's the one, the founder and all that stuff, and they just fired him. It's like that sucks.
Yeah, I don't really see a lot of stuff that I do like from EA. Actually, I used to give them
Yeah,
a lot of the benefit of
everything
the
else
doubt,
is,
but I never really played any of
but
these
it's
games.
like, and all the games I liked that they had, they bought after the games I actually like the ones I liked the most, which is funny. So they've only bought games people actually liked. They've never been a part of a team that actually made a game I enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean, sports games obviously they come out with one each year, and so there's merit there. Just because I'm not a fan of those games doesn't mean that they don't do a good job there. But because people still
Actually, I've
obviously
been
buy
hearing a
them.
lot of yeah, but I have been hearing issues about a lot of sports games lately that there are no updates at all to them, and they even use the same graphics and stuff too, and they charge them even more then. So I had to look back into that, but there was a huge controversy with the sports game for a little bit. Battlefield Bad Company. I want to see if they were involved with Bad Company as
All
well.
right.
I'm interested. Were they part of that? But yeah, so like, for news wise, this is really it. Let's see, first one E Ice platforms was released. So yeah, they weren't even involved with the game I liked either. A bad Battlefield Bad Company. It's so funny.
Yeah, I don't
No,
know.
yeah, they were. I take that back. I take that back. Yeah, they were. So I give them that. All right, way to go. You did one good game that I fully loved. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Good for you. Nice job. But yeah, it's kind of funny. It's like they don't really make that many games I enjoyed, but they have made games that a lot of other people have enjoyed. So I'll give them credit for that, but nothing I fully enjoyed
I get,
besides like Bad Company.
yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing to me is like everyone talks shit about EA, but at the end of the day, they've hardly made any games that I really appreciate. I said The Secret World, but that game came out in like 2012, 5 years ago. Like I can't really hate them because I don't buy their games to begin with. If it was like some I'm trying to think of a game company that I
Well, the
really
problem
like.
is that people don't like them is that they're a publisher. They're not. They're setting a bad example for what like people don't like the example they're setting for what's okay because a lot of other publishers start to copy them too, and people don't agree with it. That's why even though a lot of people don't buy their games, they don't they still are affected because then other publishers and other designers start copying their business practice, which other people, including me, find it not consumer friendly. And that's why people don't like EA, because EA is usually the head of the spear when it comes to these situations.
I don't know about that. I mean, Valve, Blizzard, like all these other companies. Well, I guess that they're not publishers, I suppose. But
No, yeah.
well, wait. Fuck,
Secret.
I don't know the difference between publisher and developer. I'm just gonna stop talking because this is way beyond any spectrum that I'm
Publishers
familiar with.
are so developers are the people who actually make the game, and publishers are the ones who fund the game. That's all they do. They just give money for the game, and so they're kind of the ones who publishers are the ones who are putting the most money into the project, and developers are the ones who are making the game. So when you see EA on the title, they are the ones who are putting all the money into it. And then the other logo you see is the developer, and that's the team who actually who actually made the game, who did all the programming. But it's always known that publishers they have the full control of where the game will go and what is added. In some cases, they have the ability to change things in the way that they want. And so yeah, that's the difference between a publisher and a developer.
Hmm. I get it. I do understand now. I have learned something today. Uh,
Nice.
I don't know how much I'm interested in talking too much more about EA. I mean,
No, it's fine.
I don't know. I just kind of getting around to it. Like it's a company that I don't really
It's been
care about or care
yeah, I
for, and
mean,
that sounds like a lot of other people's similar feelings.
yeah, I'm just looking up on let's see. Actually, Secret World had two publishers in it.
Yeah, one of them was Funcom, who made Anarchy Online,
Yeah.
which is why I got into Secret World in the first place.
Oh, so yeah, they were also developers too. So they were developers and also producers. So I guess that they split the. I think EA put some money in to help them out throughout it.
Hmm.
Let's see. Reception. Let's see. Let's do a little bit of history of that. But yeah, then you want to do games coming out then? Want to go over to there then?
Yeah, sure. And I'll go first there, because I couldn't find any games, and so I may as well get this tangent out of the way before we even start.
Need
Um,
another tangent?
yeah, pretty much. There hasn't been much that's been appealing to me. It seems like everyone, like with Black Friday and the holidays and everything, everyone's conveniently released their game in October, and now November is like dead. I don't know.
I actually liked it. It was nice for once to have an easy, because like, yeah, I agree, there was not that many good ones, but it made it easier this time to go through the list.
I suppose. Pretty much all I was gonna say though is that I didn't find any games that I was excited for even like the rest of the month, honestly. But
Really? Well, that's actually shocking.
well, I mean, how many more days are left in the month? There's like a week and a half or something. But
Can you just let me have something, you little shit? Jesus.
what I did see was movies that were coming out, and there's one movie specifically that looks awesome. And it takes a little bit of description to really get into it, so I figured, it'd take about the same amount of time as talking about a game. So,
Okay.
this movie's called The Disaster Artist. It's coming out. It's the same guys that made, it's like James Franco, Seth Rogen, like those kind of goofy characters that did like Superbad and This Is the End and all those other movies.
Yeah.
So the movie's called The Disaster Artist, and what it is it follows this guy called Tommy Wiseau, and it's based on a real story too, which is amazing. Like it's super funny, but this movie is based on another movie, pretty much, and the movie it's based on is called The Room. And if you're familiar with
yeah.
cinema, The Room is considered, as many other sources have called it, the Citizen Kane of bad movies. So, to put it in another word, it's such a bad movie, but it's so bad in all the best ways. Like the set design is terrible, the casting is just god awful, and the worst part about it is the acting, specifically by the main character Tommy Wiseau, who directed it and wrote it. He's just awful. Like it's a story about this guy that couldn't get any work, and so he wrote his own film called The Room, and he released it in like 1999, which is, I mean, we talked about this year for movies before. It was a great year for movies. The Matrix, Fight Club, those movies came out in 1999, and this guy releases this movie. It looks like it was made in like fucking like 1982 or something, like way back in the day. It looks shitty beyond all belief, and it came out in 1999, and everyone laughed their asses off, and it was so bad that it actually got popular because of how bad it was. So
Right, like how usually cult movies are.
yeah, so like they succeeded through failure, which is pretty cool. And so now this movie's coming out called The Disaster Artist, where it follows James Franco playing Tommy Wiseau, this struggling actor who writes his own script to eventually become the worst movie in existence, essentially. And they do a really cool thing. Like, the movie follows him as he writes, and as he is, like, it shows him as a struggling actor. It's not just like spoofs of, oh, the movie's being made and it's ridiculous and, what stupid acting there is. I mean, there are moments like that, but they do a really good job in showing, like, this is a struggling artist and no one would give him a break, and just like persistence. Like, this guy was so bad, but at the same time, he just had this dream he had to follow. And even though he failed, he still succeeded. Like, even though he was as bad
Spoilers.
yeah, right? Even though he was as bad of an actor as he could possibly be, and made, like, probably the worst movie that he could with the budget that he had, he still is famous now. It's a cult classic. People own this movie. Like, and it could have been nothing, but this guy still succeeded. And in that way, it is kind of like, a hero's journey type of stories. Even though this guy just sucks at acting and everything, he still makes it. So it looks funny. It's honestly like the script sounds solid and everything. It looks really good. But that's called The Disaster Artist, and it's coming out on December 1st, and I think it's gonna be like a day one release for me. I think I'm gonna see that like almost midnight. I'm so excited for the Disaster Artist.
So The Room, the movie, actually made a 3.6 out of 10 from IMBD,
Yep, that sounds about
DB,
right.
and then a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yep. And
But hold on, it 73% liked this movie from Google users.
yeah, and so like I said, like some movies are just bad and they're hard to watch and all that. This is a bad movie, but it's really entertaining to watch because of how bad it is. So it makes sense that the movie didn't get like zeros across the board. The fact that it is like people are acknowledging, like a 30% people are acknowledging like it's bad, but it's like it's still funny. Like
Budget.
don't pass it, you know.
Wait, you
Still
guys are
see
gonna
it.
like this. Budget, $6 million.
Yeah.
Box office, $1,900.
Yeah. $1,900.
I'm looking right now. I'm like, holy shit.
And
Released in 2003.
wait, the movie was released in 2003?
Yep,
The Room?
The Room. Yeah, it's rated R. A romance comedy.
Yeah, that's I mean, holy shit. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. It was released in 2003. My bad. Um
What did you say?
I said 1999. But
Yeah,
yeah.
close enough.
Anyway, I was wrong there, but thanks for correcting me. Yeah, so
No problem.
this movie came out in the 21st century, and like, just pull up a trailer. It's so bad. But yeah, so
I'm scared to.
they're making like a almost like a pseudo documentary about this movie, like in a comical, in a
Serious
comedy fashion. Yeah, it's like it tells this story, and like it kind of is like a keep following your dreams kind of movie because he just fails in every possible way.
It's actually a typical Seth Rogen movie.
Yeah, it is pretty much. But this guy fails in every possible way, and he still sort of makes it because it does become this cult classic. So, yeah, check it out. That's all I got though. I mean, I couldn't find any games, but Mike, if you want to kind of get back into games here, feel free to.
Yeah, so, actually, the game that I'm actually interested in picking up is already out, because I looked at the list the wrong way. It came out the 17th, so the same day that Star Wars Battlefront came out, and it's called Divided, and it looks pretty good, though. It just, let me read the description, if I can actually get this thing to work. There it goes. Divided is a character-driven science fiction action/adventure game with modern take on astromagic adventures of the past. Search for clues that reveal new insight into the story. Interact with fully realized characters, and combat enemies by hacking out of sight or launching a direct assault. And the gameplay looks pretty good, you know? It just looks very interesting. It's a nice style to it. And something I just like to give a go. I don't play games like this that often, so it kind of just piqued my interest. Let's see if the people made anything else. Developers are called Exploding Tube Studios. And then, let's see, what else I got over here? And so that's already out. Like I said, it came out the 17th. A game that's not out yet, it's called Nocturnal Hunt. And I did like the idea of this game. It was pretty interesting. So I might pick it up, but I might be playing Divided instead. Let's see, Nocturnal Hunt. Let me just get it onto Steam. So it says it doesn't give a specific day, but it was on this week's release, and it's here's a description of it. Be a wolf in the forest, full of cruel hunters, and rescue your stolen cubs. Sneak your way through the gloomy woods, or rip your opponents apart. No matter how, find your way to Barzosva, the village of the hunters, and the core of the evil. Hunt or you'll be hunted. And that's what you are. You just play as a wolf, and it's like a stealth it's like a stealth game. And you play as a wolf, and you just try to get around these hunters or kill them as you try to get to your cubs. And it's a very nice style to it. And it's interesting, you know, it's because I've been seeing a lot of games that come out where you play as animals, but usually they're just like these walking simulator games. This one, there's some gameplay mechanics into it. Blah. Mechanics. Jesus. Shoot me. Mechanics in it. And so I'm pretty interested in giving it a go. And then, did I have anything else on this list? Uh, there was this other game that kind of just like it's sadly early access, but it's called it's spelled Nelo, so Nilo, I believe, and it's actually a bolt hell third person game where you actually are a person. It's like you're actually the person running around and you're dodging bullets in third person, and just a very interesting take on of a bolt hell game. Let's see, paste. And this. Oh, whoops. Don't want to have that in there.
Oh,
There we
this looks
go.
pretty cool.
Yeah, and it actually has an interesting storyline. And the game is technically done. It's they're releasing it in chapters apparently. So like the full game's not done yet, but the chapters that they have are. And there's like a just a mode where it's just like an endless mode. But it looks really interesting. The cutscenes look actually pretty good for just being made by just an indie game, and I kind of just like that idea of just like a third person running game, like when you play from third person view, but it's also a bullet hell game. And it'll be something I've been and I want to pick it up, and I'll see what the price is though on it. And the price is under $10, I'll pick it up.
I
And
think it's
then
gonna be more. The graphics look pretty
yeah,
good on this.
it does actually look really good. So I'm thinking it might be like at least $20 or 15. But yeah, like I'm gonna be following this game and keeping an eye on it because I just like the idea and I appreciate the graphics and the attempt to an actual storyline to a game for just it's pretty of aggressive project for just an indie game, to have this much graphics in the game and trying to have a full story with cutscenes in it, and the cutscenes actually look really nice too at the same time.
Yeah,
So I'll be
I like how fast it looks.
Yeah, same. And it looks very fluent. I kind of like the voice acting is pretty good in it, and the style looks nice too. I really enjoy that. And I like to see. So yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on it. I'll keep you guys updated on what I'm gonna about my views of the game. And let's see, what was this game? Oh, that's nothing. That's a VR game. I actually found out, so I'm taking that off my list. But yeah, so those are the games I found was Divided, which is out already, and that's spelled Divide, Nocturnal Hunt, which should be coming out sometime this week, and then Nilo, which is an early access game that'll be coming out as well this week too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nello comes out tomorrow, actually.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, no one's going to hear
Yeah,
the day that we're recording this, but it'll be out by the time you can hear this podcast.
yeah, the 20th. But yeah. So those are my lists. Were you able to come up for something for our next top five?
Yeah, this is a top 5 I wanted to do for a while, so I hope you
Oh,
don't have any
perfect.
issues with this, but
No, no problem.
it's top 5 fictional guns in games.
Ooh, nice. I like that one. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it should be good. And I'm thinking I know that this week we had kind of like a mishmash of what we actually meant. So just to specify on that, yeah.
The
So
gun
like
that we find actually fun to use. I'm gonna tell you this much. Probably a lot of them might be from Doom. For
yeah,
me.
yeah. So more like fun or like badass or something.
Yeah.
Nothing. Fictional guns. Like I guess you could do like the Doom shotgun or something. Actually, like it is fictional
Did
because
you
it's
play
just so
Doom?
fucking powerful.
Did you play the
Uh,
new Doom?
no, I didn't. Not yet.
There are a lot of fictional guns in there, dude. Like there are lasers. There are like these. I have a few guns in mind
All right.
in that game, so don't worry about it. So yeah, they're fictional. I know what you're getting at. So guns are not real in video games.
Yeah, pretty much.
I got a few already. I think I have. Yeah, I have two already in my head. So yeah.
Cool. Well, I've got nothing else to say. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good actually. I think that'll be it for us, and then so we'll catch you guys next week. Hit us up on the if you have any questions or if you guys want to have anything on your top five that you want to talk about. We love to hear it.
Yeah. For some reason, I had this thing. I had the idea of saying like, feel free to like or subscribe or whatever. But no, like as
We said we
the
wouldn't do
first
that.
As we said the first episode. I know. I didn't say I was going to, but I mean, I always end. I always remember
Yeah.
like hearing ending of things. People being like, remember to do this and do that. Yeah. So fans, just remember to go fuck yourself, because that's all I'm gonna say at the end of this one.
All right, peace.
Yeah. Bye. Sorry.
Not sorry.
Sorry. Not sorry.